Hey, what's going on, peeps? What's going on? It is Thursday night. That means it is time for what? Another Creatives Happy Hour. It is me, it is your girl, it is your sis, the Passion Strategist. Listen, I am here tonight because we got to get into it, okay? We got some things that are out here, causing a little confusion in Creatives Nation, and I need for us to set the record straight, okay? And so there's nothing like setting the record straight with a myth buster. So when I say we are bringing nothing but power, nothing but boss, nothing but creative energy, a force to be reckoned with to the stage tonight, listen. Get yourself ready. Get your pen. Get ready to get these gems. Invite your 10 friends. Tell them to come on in. The Creatives Talk tonight. It's about to get spicy, but it's going to do you right, okay? So you know me, your girl. I'm the Passion Strategist. Listen, I am here as your creative problem solver. I am passionate about solving your problems and getting you a strategy that's going to get you to the land of success. Nothing less, okay? And so I'm going to tell you more about how and why I do what I do. But first, I want to bring and introduce to you a creative force that if you have not encountered her, you will not be the same after tonight, okay? So I'm literally going to tell you right now, once the train leaves the station, I don't think you're going to be able to catch up. So tonight is not the night that you want to wait until we start, get into it, come in late and all the things. No, get your drink now. Get your snack now, because you will be glued to this here stage tonight, because I'm telling you, she's a ball of fire, and she is just not to be slept on, okay? So I'm coming representing all things melanin, all things mama, all things creative. We are on the heels of Mother's Day weekend. And I'm telling you, each and every mother out there, listen, mama, mamapreneur, fur mama, business mama, natural mama, all the mamas. We appreciate you. We see you. We celebrate you. And we want you to join us tonight, because we want to get you some strategies to get right too. Listen, it's all about you. This is your time. This is your time to shine. This is your night. This is your crew, your tribe, your community, right? This is the place where you fit in, where you belong. So you and all of your mom chronicles while balancing work, life, and business. Mommy moguls, this one's for you. Okay, so come on in. Let's make it do what it do, like we always do on a Thursday night. Why? Because this is the Creators Happy Hour, and we are here for you. Okay, so I already saw my girl jump in to say hello, so I'm going to ask her to go ahead, hit that button. Let's get ready to rumble. Let's get ready to take the people on the journey tonight, okay? Because I know that you are one that is always laced and ready, and you have something to say that the people need. So shout out to our burnout boss, one of our tribe faves. Listen, you already know what we do, and you know how this stage blazes. So go ahead, lean on in, invite those 10 friends. I'm going to do it with you, and then I'm going to invite my girl, because we are coming out guns blazing tonight, okay? So here she comes. Y'all get ready for Lily May. The collective is on her way to the stage. We're going to invite our 10 friends, and we're going to get ready to blaze. We in and we out tonight, y'all. I promise you. So you do not want to miss this, okay? Here is my girl. Do y'all see the smile? Do y'all see the smile? It's the smile for me, okay? Listen, this is the type of energy right here. This is the type of smile right here. This is the type of true, authentic character that absolutely needs to be on display, that needs to be celebrated and elevated and all the things. And that is why we had to bring you to the platform tonight. Listen, this is Creatives Happy Hour. So let me just welcome you, because it's your first time. Now, our tribe, they already know what the vibe is. So we tell them, lean on in, invite 10 friends, and get pins so you can get these gems. Those are the rules,
Yes,
okay?
yes. Look, I'm inviting them, honey. I told them they better come on, girl. They
We
might better
already
stay
know.
away.
We already know when you call, they answer. But just for our tribe, for our vibe, because it's just the thing we do to kick it off right. They already understand the assignment. They got to lean in. They got to invite those 10 friends. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it with them, because I always like, listen, I never ask you to do anything that I'm not willing to do too. So y'all watch me work. I'm leaning in. I'm inviting the friends, all the things, okay? And I'm just gonna tell you right now that this is not one of those nights where you want to miss it, because I'm trying to tell you that you are about to be blessed all over the place, okay? From your head to your toes, you're going to get to know what it is to stand 10 toes down in your creative, okay? Tonight's topic, if you have not tuned in, told a friend, you ain't been watching the social media pages, y'all already know y'all supposed to look out because I give you a little sneak peek, a little sprinkle, a little salt on it before we go live. But tonight's topic is finding your creative voice, because we know that so many times as creatives, one of the biggest hurdles that we encounter is not so much even figuring out what we're gifted at, because normally that sort of shows itself when we're babies, right? We've been doing this since we were little, right? Lily's going to tell you a whole lot about what she started off doing when she was little, right? But it's when you figure that part out, how to give that a voice. So whether that's giving your platform a voice, your brand a voice, your gift a voice, whether it's literally giving your inner child a voice. Creators, we have to do better with finding our creative voices so that we can train ourselves on how to use them properly. And Lily is going to come back me up. I promise you. I'm trying to tell y'all don't even know. When I tell you we have a multi-hyphenate, multi-gifted, multi-anointed creative in these streets tonight with us. Listen, okay? So I'm sending her so much love and these big old hugs already because, sis, first of all, when I say that she does not let grass grow under her feet, when I tell y'all that she has already been like lighting it up on her own platform tonight, listen, I had the opportunity to hop in on her a little earlier. She was listening. She was passing that mic. She was highlighting and she was celebrating and elevating other creatives. And she actually was talking to one of my sisters in passion, I'll call her, because we had the passion connection going on, right? But I was so excited that you said, okay, I can stay up a little while longer, because creatives, our happy hour is a little bit different. We don't necessarily do the 9 to 5 thing when it comes to doing this creative, okay? So I am so excited to see all your folks jumping in, jumping on. TEOG was good. Chef Orleans, Dom P, Mike. Listen, we see y'all, we shout y'all out, we celebrate y'all. And I want to start off by saying to you, Lily, that for every time, and I'm saying this to you as I say this to all of our creatives, but I know this is about to resonate. For any and every time where something came to try to steal your voice, to mute your voice, or to diminish your voice to the degree that you stop believing that you were actually called to this, that you were making a difference, and that you were in the lane that you were born to occupy. I just want to debunk that myth for you right now. There are so many who are watching you, who are being filled because you continue to pour into the cups of others and keep others filled up. And there are so many people who literally aspire to be like you. And when I say that, I'm talking in terms of your authenticity, right? Because we know that creative is a lifestyle. It has its own language. And I like to call myself the friendly translator. But the reality is each one of us is different and bold in our blueprint. And we are unique like a fingerprint. There is no two matching that is alike, right? And so the goal is, as a creative, before you get up out of here, is to make sure that you leave a fingerprint that cannot be erased, that lets everybody know that you are here. And you are doing that so beautifully. And you have overcome so many obstacles on the way to these opportunities. I know that even towards the end of 2022, you had some challenges, you had some life things happen, and we're going to get into it. We want to get into it because I'm a creator that believes in going unscripted. That means that, listen, we are an open book. We are not here to try to hide from the realities of what it is to grow up and to be creative, but we're here to guide you and to help you navigate your way to your vision of success, right? And so, Lily, this is me, right? And I'm giving you all some gems right now. We're going to start off with the gems, okay? I am a strategist, yes. So I'm going to give y'all some strategies, but I am a creative to my core. So when I say this is my sis, okay? And one of the strategies that I love to talk about and work through with my new clients is the strategy of the origin, right? I call it the story of me. And people overlook the power of the story of me. So Lily, you got to take us in, pull the curtain back, open up the blinds and the shades and take us back to the little girl who started tapping into the voice of the creative as a 5-year-old singing Little Somebody. Tell us about who you were born to be, when you discovered her, and what the journey has been like to unleashing, unlocking, and unboxing her to today.
So, and first of all, thank you for the invitation. This is something, and I really thank you. But it actually goes back. Believe it or not, I can remember being 2 years old.
Wow.
And I was a huge baby. I was like I want to say a 30-pound 2-year-old. So I was too large to fit in the basket. Your parents put you in the basket. Now mine. I preface this origin by saying I was born to a 46-year-old mother and a 56-year-old father. So I already defied the odds to even be here.
Let's go.
So my voice came before I even entered this world. But at 2 years old, my mother told me this. She said, Lil, you used to wobble your little self around the store and walk up to people and say, what you looking for? I can find that. Now, mind, I grew up in Danville, Virginia, the last capital of the Confederacy.
Lord.
So I'm this little chubby redhead black girl, little chubby black girl with these knock knees. And I'm making grown people talk to me that wouldn't even speak to my mother because they did not understand how this baby could articulate at 2 years old. Now, fast forward into being 3, 4, 5. My brother's 5 years older than me. And I remember him being in 7th grade, which means I was in 2nd grade. And my parents were old school. So they said, don't fight, don't fight. Now, I didn't embrace that philosophy, but my older brother did.
Okay.
And there was this boy that used to pick on him. And so I remember this one day, Mom and Dad came to get me from school. Now, I'm in 2nd grade, so I'm about 7. And we went on over to Woodrow Wilson Middle School. And I remember when we were walking up the steps, I saw Mr. Wilford. Now, Mr. Wilford was the principal. And so he knew my mom and dad. Everybody knew our parents because everybody thought they was our grandparents, but they was our parents. And we walked up the steps of that school. Now, the principal's office was in the front. My brother's English class with Miss Whitlow was to the right. And my brother was in that class with that boy that was picking on him. Honey, I said, Mom and Daddy. Oh, I was already smooth with it. I'm going to go to Linwood's class so I can get some English work. Because what would happen, my brother would always bring home extra assignments from his teachers so that I could work on them. Girlfriend, I walked up in that classroom and I saw that boy. And I said, the next time you touch my brother, I'm going to poke your eyes out. Girl, needless to say, 20 years later, I see this same gentleman who mine had just got out of prison for something. Oh. And he walked up to me at a restaurant and said, are you Linwood's little sister? I said, yes, and I know who you are too. He said, are you still mean like that? I said, sure is. But I preface that by saying, this isn't new to me. Social media is new. But I've always been an advocate. I've always been a fighter. I've always been a voice. Also, at 7 years old, the person that's still the delegate. Now, this is how you know Danville is the true capital of the Confederacy. Do you know that the delegate for the city of Danville in the General Assembly in Virginia is the same delegate that I wrote to the newspaper about when I was 7 years old about how he was a racist and didn't need to represent nobody in the city. And my parents had no clue. Girl, I got a stamp. I wrote that letter and mailed it in, and child, everybody in my home church, which was a very affluent church, girl, they were mad. They were like, Betty, why you let your daughter write that letter? You know, my mama said, she said, well, honestly, I didn't even know she wrote it, but I'm glad she did. And I'll never forget this one man said, and she didn't tell one lie in that letter. So I say that to say, I don't think I really had to find the voice. My mother and father cultivated the voice from their generation. And when they brought me into this world, I will never forget it. My mother said, Dr. Broach said to her, Miss Jones, now, you had your son at 42. I don't know about this one. My mother said, she said to that doctor, I'm not taking no test because I know another doctor and you can't beat God's given. And I'm here today. I'm here today. Yes, at the end of 2022, I lost my mom October 2nd. But what I can say is that my mother called me to take her last breath. And when my mother took her last breath at 9:07 p.m. on October the 2nd, 2022, she breathed all of that breath into me and told me, Leo, it's go time. And ever since my mother closed her eyes, I have been on go. And I know that it's nothing but her spirit and my daddy and my grandmother. Because see, unlike most people, girl, I had a privileged upbringing. But the only people that's gonna understand the privilege that I had are the people that's aligned. See, the privilege that I had is resilience. I was given generational wealth that money cannot buy. Do you understand what I'm saying? I was given love, unconditional love. I was given discipline. I got my ass whooped, but guess what? I was taught why I was getting my ass whooped. So it wasn't, I'm beating you, do what I say do. It was, you know how they said, this hurting me more than it hurt you. I was like, no, the hell it ain't. But I understood, right?
Yeah.
And because of that is why, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm very unpopular, but popular in this creative space because people don't like my authenticity, but I don't want to say they don't like it. I think it's an envy. And it's an envy because so many people live life for this phone and they don't live life. But thanks be to God, I have lived life and I'm still living life and I don't care who don't like it, because if you're doing wrong, I'm going to tell you you're doing wrong. Because we as a people, we as an African American people were birthed and built on strength. We were birthed and built on determination and integrity. Do you understand? I don't look at slavery as a curse. I don't look at it as a curse. And the reason I don't look at it as a curse is because we pulled and gleaned so much from bondage. You never know what it's like to be free if you've never been in bondage. And that's it.
That's it. That's all. That's
That's
it.
it.
That's all.
That's
I
it.
mean, so I'm gonna take a commercial break because the people need to digest. Because you just poured at about 1,000 pours a minute, and they need to sit in it. They really need to sit in it because I promised y'all that tonight the creatives will be talking different. And you know, every time we come to this platform, we never come to this platform to show off. We don't come to this platform because we ain't got nothing else to do and we up late and we want to see who else on social. No, we come to empower you, to educate you, to inspire you, and to reveal to you who you were born to be.
Absolutely.
And I can tell you right now that we are in the presence of greatness. So if you have never been around royalty, if you've never been in the presence of great kings and men in authority in the land, you have landed in this place at this
Mm.
time for this talk, because this queen has come to knight some of you, to elevate and celebrate all of you, and to show you what it looks like to be a living legacy. Now, I could have
Mm.
said living legend, but legends are things that are sort of like folklore, and it's sort of passed down, and you can't qualify what's true and what's authentic and what's real. No, she's living legacy. And what I love that you talked about, Lil, a second ago was the moment where you step back into the transitioning of the mantle. When your mama breathed out, you breathed in, and it
Mm.
literally, it did not come to destroy you, it came to activate and authenticate you.
Mm.
And you been so intentional about stepping into the shoes and properly wearing and bearing the
Yes.
mantle, which is why we're able to sit with you now and look at you now as an ambassador of authenticity for all things creative. And some of our creatives really need to hear and understand that there's this thing that, as Lil said, is unpopularly popular, and that is authenticity in 2023. Okay.
Amen.
And on this
Amen.
platform, we stand on three principles: it's passion, it's strategy, and it's authenticity. It's all about the
Mm.
PSA over these parts. Okay.
I like that. Yes. Passion,
Yeah.
strategy, and authenticity. I love it. I
We did.
love it.
That's what we did. And
Mm.
so when I say that, our tribe knows that when they tune into this vibe that we call Creatives Happy Hour, this is the time where you can get happy, whether you are going through or where you are celebrating where you have ascended to. Because either way you slice it, there's hope. There's help and there's
Mm.
hope. And so, Lil, when you think about I love when you said I had a privileged upbringing.
Oh,
And I love
absolutely.
when you started to take us back, because I'm a person that when you talk, I see pictures, I see visuals. So I can literally picture you walking up to the bully. I can picture you putting pen to paper, and I can picture you walking in the church with your ruffled dress and your socks on, and the mother's trying to tell your mama, trying
I'm looking at
to
the
tell your
picture.
mama where you get this child from. But I love that you took us into a place where we literally could visualize, because so many of us as creatives, that we don't realize it's a superpower that we possess to be able not just to dream big and to visualize, but we can actualize this thing. And you are on leg two of the journey. You're actualizing
Mm.
everything that's been sewn into the fabric of who you are through the generations. And so,
Yes, yes.
creatives, I want you to be encouraged tonight that if you don't have a blueprint, if you don't know what it looks like, and you don't quite know how to know when, that's it, you're looking at it. Here she is coming to represent for you and you tonight. Lil said, I got to take this moment, I got to take this stage, and I have to tell the people what it is that they need to stay focused on, because it's so easy to be distracted by who says they don't like your wig, your ponytail, your voice, your platform, who you talking to, what you're talking about, why you came on, why you stepped up in my space, all the things. Authenticity can be intimidating to those who have yet to either discover who they are or give themselves permission to fully be. And so, this is why we have to be so grounded in this principle of authenticity. And so, tonight, creatives, as we talk about finding your creative voice, listen, I told y'all before, and I'm going to say it again. Get your pen so you can get these gems, because Lil came out on all cylinders. I mean, we've been on for 20 minutes, and she just blessed your whole life. If you missed service this Sunday, you just got you. Listen, I'm going to put the replay up for y'all. Catch the replay, okay? You still have time to lean in, invite a few friends, tell them the creators are talking, and Lil is about to get the mic back, so y'all get ready, okay? Lil, I have to ask you, when you started to realize that there were levels to this, that there were layers to you, and that there was so much that you were called to do. Now, the myth that is, you know how you get that question, oh, what's your pet peeve? My pet peeve is when a creative, first of all, Jim drop, stop talking to people who do not speak your language. I'm going to say that again, but I'm going to put it in context. Creative is a lifestyle. It has its own language. And I am your friendly translator. So let me help you. Stop talking to people who don't speak your language. Creative, have you ever had somebody tell you you're doing too much? You need to just do one thing? Or why don't you niche down? Why don't you just figure out? Because if you're doing all the things, you're not doing anything. I'm here to break that myth for you tonight. My Bible says you can do all things. So I'm here to tell you, you're looking at a multi-hyphenate, multi-passionate, multi-successful, multi-layered creative. Lil, she's right there. There it is. It's being done right now in your face. And so don't let anybody tell you what you can't do because they have limited themselves and now they're projecting that onto you. Okay? So here's what I need you to do, Lil. I need you to talk to us about the moment you realized the levels, the layers, and that there was a life that you literally had to get into and you talked about being too big to fit in that little stroller. I love to see it. So when you realized that you had to take up all the space, where did you begin that journey? What was the first step that you took into stepping into the room and taking up all the space?
You know, I never really thought about it. I would say, I think I was about 12 or 13, and I went to something called the Governor's Preparedness Youth Institute.
Mm.
And it was on this campus of Virginia State University. Now, did I think I was going to end up graduating from Virginia State University some 10 years later, which is crazy now that I think about it, because I totally forgot about this. But I had to write a speech, and there was an oratorical contest, and it was about, I want to say, persistence and controversy. And I remember opening that speech. Girl, this is crazy that I can remember. I remember opening that speech saying, if at first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again. And after that, I won that. I won a $500 savings bond. But then there was a talent show. And I have been singing hymns and gospel music since I was about 5, right? And I said, well, all these people rapping and dancing, I can't get up here and sing no gospel song. Well, I did, and I ended up with another savings bond. So I think it was in my adolescence that I stopped listening to, because I had that a lot. You know, like I said, church hurt is real. But I'm going to say this about church hurt. If I never experienced church hurt, I don't think I would have learned the resilience that I have, because a lot of people in my church was just like, oh, Betty, that girl too grown. You just let her run wild. And girl, the other day, I said, you know something? I said, it's so interesting. They had so much to say about me, but I'm the only one that ain't knocked up, in jail, or strung out on drugs. Y'all must didn't let me run that wild.
The math was not math, and was it?
Hello, somebody. And it was this lady, and you know her name was Miss Essie. Miss Essie Wilson. Honey, now you know that just sound, it don't sound mean. That lady was so mean. She hated children. My mother even told me she hated them when they were children. So you know she was old by the time I was born.
Oh gosh.
But we got a new pastor when I was about 5 or 6. And I remember her pointing at me and telling the pastor, oh, she just as mannish as she can be. She gonna be knocked up before she 12. And girl, every chance I did, I'd be like, Miss Esther, what you got to say now? Even she been dead and gone for years. But I say that to say my foundation was so solid that when I stepped into this creative space, none of y'all under the sound of my voice, and those of you that are going to watch the replay, because you're not going to watch it right now, because you don't want me to really know that you really like me. And instead of
Mhm.
just asking me, how is it that I am as authentic and transparent as I am, you just start to tweak your things and your creativity. And I see you doing it, and I'm glad you do it. So I want you to know I see you, so I know you pay attention to my rants. I love you too. But
Kisses
when
for me.
I stepped into this creative space, it was just like, I don't care what y'all got to say. Because if I can help one somebody as I pass along, then my living will not be in vain. And because of that, like, I'm comfortable. You know, there are days when I wake up, because, you know, by day I work in corporate America.
Mhm.
And even in that space, it's so hard for me because I've had to learn everybody isn't ready for this. But I also had to learn, Lil, everything that you see, you don't have to speak on.
Mhm.
However, I got Betty Lou in me. And my mama said, you ain't going to shut me up. I'm going to say what I want to say, and I'm going to mean what I say what I mean. And that's who I am. Because if I say it, I'm going to stand on it. And
Yeah.
I don't mind standing alone. I've been standing alone for so long because of my upbringing. And I'm so blessed because 10 years, about 10 years ago, I told my mom, and it's so crazy because I was in a relationship at this time. And I said, Mom, I don't think I'm going to ever get married. So you better hope that my brother and his wife give you some grandchildren, because you ain't getting nothing from me. Because unless I can have my daddy reincarnated and shaped into a man, I don't want nobody. Do you know that God had already designed that man for me?
Mm.
Do you understand what I'm saying? And I would never forget my auntie, my Aunt Fran. She said, you know what? She said, you getting ready to move to Georgia. She said, your husband is in Georgia. And I was like, I don't know about all that, Aunt Fran. You tripping. But lo and behold, when my mother closed her eyes, she and her God had already put this plan together. See, what people don't realize is y'all want to be your children's friends. There's a
Mhm.
time and a place for that. And that time and place comes when you are a matured adult. Because Betty Lou and I had got to a place where you're my mama, but now I understand I got to parent you because her health started to decline and her
Yeah.
mental capacity started to diminish. But she prepared me for
Yeah.
her demise. We were in the emergency room, and she looked at the doctor, and the doctor said, well, Miss Jones, if we need to resuscitate you, do you want that? And she said, no. And the doctor looked at me and then looked at her and said, well, Miss Jones, if we don't, she said, look at here. And she looked over at me, and she looked back at the doctor, and she said, I'm not afraid to die. That let me know. Whatever your will is, God, you do it. Because my mother told me before I moved to Atlanta, take your ass on to Atlanta, because whether you in Richmond or Atlanta, when it's my time to go, you can't stop it. And lo and behold, that's why she called me while she was dying, because she was sitting on that phone like, you can't do nothing about it, but I'm going to let you know I'm getting ready to go. And because of that, when I tell you I have peace, when I tell you that I can pray. Girl, when my brother called me on that video and showed me my mother's lifeless body laying there, girl, I went into praise so fast. Why? Because she parented me.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up with her. But when we became adults, we were best friends, but I still
Mm.
have the respect for her because she's my mother. And I say all of that to say this creative space is a lot like caring for a flock.
Yeah.
And I cannot be one of them sheep. Because I was designed to be a shepherd. And in being a shepherd, I have to speak the unpopular truth. I have to live the unpopular life. So what does that look like? That looks like cultivating a team of people to go out to all of these events that I really don't think need to happen, because what are you really celebrating?
Uh-huh.
But I cultivate a team of people to go out because that's not the space for me. But guess
Yeah.
what? It's the space for them because they want something different. They don't want what I want. You can be in the world and not be of the world.
You're doing it.
You
You're doing
can
it.
be in the room and not be in the room.
You're doing it.
And
You're
and,
doing
and
it.
that's just what it is.
And I think that the power in knowing who you are, what you have, and how you are responsible to not just sow your seed, but to water your seed and to
Yes.
nurture your seed until it
Yes.
comes, like you said, to a place of maturity where it can be rooted in that authenticity no matter what storms and
Yes.
trends may come. I
Yes.
tell my tribe all the time that we ought to be more careful about leaning into what's trendy instead of standing on what's trusty. And you talked about what I like to call the him experience. So many of us are busy trying to reinvent the wheel or create the next sample or sound bite, trending audio, that
Clickbait.
we literally do not pay attention, honor, and own the voice that we have been given. And so,
Yes.
creatives, when we talk about finding your voice, sometimes it takes for you to sit and do what Lily just showed. I love, this is just me, I love a good demonstrative manifestation. We did not talk ahead of this live. We did not put together a plan or a
Nope.
strategy.
Nope.
But I'm a firm believer that but when he puts a plan together,
Woo! Come on now.
and
Come on.
so when I say that Lily literally just demonstrated for you the strategy for success and nothing less, and that is standing in your truth and the gift that she has found that she has. And I guarantee you, if you just quiet yourself and listen, there's a bit of it in you too, is she is a truth teller. But too many of us have bought into the myths and the lies of it all because we're trying to be, as you said a minute ago, in the room. Your gift will make room. It didn't say your gift will be in the
It
room.
will make room.
And so, if you are making room, that means you are preparing to take up all the space that's been designated to you that nobody can occupy but you. And I wrote a note today. You know, we got all these fancy things on our social now, and now we can write notes to each other.
Oh
And if
yeah,
you want to
honey.
respond, you can respond to my notes. And today I wrote a note that simply said, before you become expensive, try becoming expansive. Too many of us are flipping our wig about the trend of charge your worth plus tax. But baby, do you know where the baseline is at? Before you get expensive in these creative streets, why don't you expand your knowledge? Expand the number of hours you pour into the craft by way of experience, by way of prayer, by way of principles, and everything else. You don't hear Lil say anything that does not come attached to legacy, generations. Y'all remember that song, Somebody Prayed for Me? Had me
Had
on
me
their
on their
mind.
mind.
That
Took the time to
wasn't
pray for
somebody
me.
that you even knew. That
Yes,
you never even met them, but you have a mandate from them,
that's
right?
it.
And
That's
so
it.
we need to get back to the place where we understand this is, listen, it saddens me a little bit when the world catches a hold of something that's really for us
Mm,
and we miss it, because
mm.
they literally have things that are out here, you know, all over the airwaves. And I mean, they are rocking, they are making millions, all of that. Listen, Jay-Z got a song that says legacy, legacy, legacy.
Yep.
Okay? What's taking us so long? What's taking us so long? When you find your voice, you'll understand that you can't be contained to a vibe, because you are on a frequency that God is downloading to you and to me, right? So let's be clear about what we hear in the trends. Let's begin to get back to the place where we can hear between the lines and we can see between the words, and we can
Yes,
show up when they're not
yes,
expecting us, because we know we got an assignment and an alignment with who
yes,
he's sending us
yes,
to. Later, for all of these attachments, right?
yes.
So many of us are trying to be, listen, let me tell you something about attachments. If you are not one of us hair girls, okay, you might not get this, but I guarantee, yes, you are, because you either the one, or you know the one, or you with the one, or whatever. There is a difference between getting a weave that is bonded versus sewn in. There is a difference. There's a difference. There's a level of security that you have in one that you don't have in the other. Why? Because one is an attachment
Come
and the
on.
other one is an assignment.
Come on.
That hair begins
Come
to look
on.
and act like it belongs to you and it's coming out of your root. But some of
Mm.
us, we busy trying to get the style of the moment. We want to look like what we just saw on Met Gala last. Oh, okay. You want to look like the Met? Have you met yourself?
Whew.
Because I need y'all
Mm.
to stop showing up in these social media streets and you are not even equipped to say, nice to meet you. Let me introduce you to me.
Ooh.
Okay? This is
Ooh.
one of the reasons why I am so passionate about us doing our very best to represent the creative space
Yes.
with a level of integrity, because people have lost the integrity. People are so bent on somebody speaking their name that in reality, if I called your name today, if I called you like I got to Lil, okay? Lil and I have a mutual connection. It was a question and it was an answer. And clearly she came prepared, right? If she was not prepared, what would you be missing out on right now? If I was not secure in my gifting, how would it alter the very atmosphere that we have created tonight
Come
in this
on now.
platform and in this
Come
place?
on now. Come on.
I need y'all to see how this thing works. There is no shade, there's no shame, there's no
Yes.
diminishing of either one of our names, but this is a collaboration that creates power, that produces through the airwaves, through all of the debris and all of the noise. Because why? It's authentic
It
and it
is.
resonates and
Mm.
people can relate to what's real. And
Yes.
too many of us have begun to give up on the real.
Yep.
The real
Yep.
success, the real promise manifesting, the real end game, right? We've given up because my mom was 42 when she started having kids. If Miss Betty Lou said, well, God, I guess it ain't for me. Let me explain something to you. Because I too was not a teenage mama, okay?
I know
So when you
that's
talk about
right.
Miss Betty Lou, I said you better talk about it, because that's mothering right there. Miss Betty Lou, happy Mother's Day. Okay, we celebrate you still because you have done
Yes.
your job. Okay,
Yes.
but when I say that you have to be so anchored that you understand that your promise is protected, and it doesn't matter what it looks like.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you cried this morning. You better get up this evening and act like you know. Y'all
And
want to
that's what it
sound right.
is.
Y'all remember when everybody was act like you know, act like you know. Listen, do you know why she was able to sing that song like that? If you don't, go do some research. Like I said, stop worrying about being expensive and go get expansive. Go do
Yeah.
some history. Go do some learning and some lessons and all and figure out why these people had the blessings that they had. Right?
Mm.
Because this does not come by accident or by happenstance. And I
Mm-mm.
love something that you said earlier, Lil, that like blew my mind. And I was like, Lord, if you give me the opportunity to literally have this conversation with Lil, my day is going to be made. And here we are. And I thought it was one of those strong statements, but it was powerful to me because again, to me it resonated authenticity, right? And what I had the opportunity to hear you say was there's too many people walking around with honorary doctorates in an area where they have done none of the work and none of the study and going through none of the trial, the tribulation, and the proving and the testing to make sure that your knowledge is pure and that you know more than the person that's coming under you. And I thought, what a statement, because everybody wants to go online, they want to go accelerate it, they want to get it in and get it out, they want to get done, and they want all the money now with none of the experience. Meanwhile, those who have 20 years of experience in the industry have been forced to compete with education. And look at the state of the world. Look at the state of the workplace.
Absolutely.
Look at the state
Absolutely.
of business and marketplace, even in ministry, right? Because people do not understand the principle of the Moses Joshua effect. There is a blessing in sitting at the feet, but nobody
Mm.
wants to sit at the feet and nobody wants to wash the feet anymore.
Well, I stay at the feet, at the foot, Tanya, because let me say this. Um, the saddest thing for me is to see so many people misinforming the masses
Mm.
because of the number of followers they have. Someone told me they were hosting a panel, and the panel was on, behavioral health and mental health in the
Mhm.
entertainment industry. And she said, "Oh, well, you don't fit the caliber of panelists we had." I said,
Oh.
well, what does that mean? "Oh, you don't have enough followers." I said, "So this reality TV personality is a study
Mm.
in behavioral health intervention?" "Oh, okay. Well, you damn right. I don't belong on that panel. And you better pray to God you don't get sued," because a lot of people, it's just a sad day. The state of the world is so sad because everything that was once wrong is right, and everything that was once right was wrong. But guess what? In the real world, wrong is wrong and right is right. And, yes, I'm all for the honorary doctorates for humanitarianism and philanthropy. But giving these folks honorary doctorates in business that realistically didn't do anything but franchise somebody's stuff, like I need the inventors. Where are the Thomas Edisons? You get what I'm saying? Where are the George Washington Carvers? Nobody is inventing anything. Everybody is pulling from somebody else's pyramid and
Mhm. Mhm.
selling it. Everybody's selling the same thing. If I see another credit or tax guru, I'm going to pull all this weave out my head. And I'm just trying to understand. I told somebody this the other day. I said, "Girl, it sure is 100 million 6 and 7 figure earners, but I'm trying to understand why they don't own nothing though. But they teaching you how to be a 6 and 7 figure earner, but they don't own a damn thing. I don't understand. I don't understand. So I think that no one's vetting anymore. You know, I will never say that I really cared for Donald Trump, right? But I'm going to say this. The one thing that I will always respect about him, he didn't lie about who he was.
Never, not one time.
If I don't care about his politics. That man was crazy as hell, but he kept it real about who he was. And because of that, though, see, this is what happened. More intelligent people did not like his politics.
Yeah.
But we understood his positioning and why he was put in that position. See, he was put in that position to shine a light on what we already knew existed in these United States of America. He just opened it up so that everybody could see the blatant divide in our Congress and in our institutions. But the worst part of what he did was he influenced a lot of this. He influenced, and now, because see, y'all just want to act like it was just ignorant Caucasians, and no, he brought ignorant people out. Because let me tell you something. I talked to more ignorant colored folks than I done seen in my life about that man, because see what it was. He was a con man, just like y'all. And that's why you loved it. But guess what? Every con man has his day. And what's going on now? He being what? Huh? What's happening to Donald? See, the thing about it is, you can do wrong. You can do wrong. And you can get away with it. But you only can get away with it but for so long. And you know what else? You might even prosper in doing wrong. But let me tell you this much. You will suffer before you leave this world. And suffering doesn't always come to you. It sometimes attacks your offspring and your loved ones. So beware with all this scamming and scheming y'all doing with people, with your master classes,
My.
your $100,000 record deals.
My.
You have to be wise.
Put the master back
Like
in the
my
class.
sister said, like my dear sister said, in order for you to truly be wise, you got to step back and you got to understand who you are. You got to know who you are and not who you are for social media. Because this is my pet peeve, and I'm battling with this. Why is it that you guys put on for social media? I know somebody right now, and she's a doctor. She says she's a doctor. She can't even craft an appropriate subject to an email. So I'm trying to understand, what kind of PhD you got? Because even my high school students that couldn't even write in cursive that I taught knew how to write a subject. When they needed something from Miss Jones, they knew they better put the class that they in, the period, and what they needed from me.
Absolutely.
So y'all got to stop putting on all these titles for social media, because one thing about it, I don't have to tell you anything. If you ever walk in my house, you're going to see everything on my wall, and you're going to know I walk in what I do.
Okay.
And I don't have to talk about it.
I am not about to let you breeze by that. Okay. Somebody drop gems in the comment for me. Somebody drop gems in the comment for me. That was a whole gem drop, and we will stop to celebrate that gem.
Oh, numbers and no engagement.
Woo! My God. I walk.
Yep.
In Jesus. Okay.
Yep.
So I thank you, Leandria. Thank you, darling. Here's my question to you creatives. I see you burn out boss. I see you. What are you walking in? What
Mm,
are you walking
mhm,
in?
mhm.
Because let's go back. I keep going back because it's this Bible in me. It's just this Bible in me. But they
Okay.
didn't have planes, trains, and automobiles. They did a whole lot of walking to spread the gospel. And
Yes.
they walked in what they were called in, where they were called to.
That's
And
it.
they went, some of
That's
them,
it.
even to the place of being martyred
Oh,
because
indeed.
they knew that they were supposed to be walking that thing out. And so, creatives, we cannot breathe by the fact that if you are called to what you're doing,
Yes.
if you are gifted to do this thing, yes, there will be times where the road is long and dusty and rough, but
Indeed.
you gotta keep on walking. There will be moments where you are parched and you are feeling like you are isolated and you are wondering if he was talking to you. You talking to me? You had those moments. But
Yeah.
if we be 100% honest, if we
Yes.
stay authentic, if we stay connected,
Hmm.
we will always come back to that place of anchoring. And
Wow.
creative, I want to encourage you tonight. Get anchored in who you are. When I say
Mm.
Lil is not playing with us, she did not come to play with us tonight, but she has literally, with a smile, challenged you to get to know you. Right? So she came and she gave us a challenge. Then it was the mandate. Stop showing up in these streets when you don't even know me. Like, and then she said, "Oh, and by the way, um, don't play with it. So if you want to step into the arena, then make sure that you did all of the work. When you were supposed to be sparring with partners to train you and build you up and get your stamina up to par and get your footwork up to speed. You were supposed to be doing all that work before you got on the stage. Now that it's lights, camera, action, that ain't the time for you not to be able to do subject verb agreement, boo boo. That ain't the time. And so the truth will always tell on you.
It
And the
will.
truth
It
of
will.
the matter is, creatives, we have a voice that was literally created to shift the atmosphere of every place that we go into. This is not something that everybody can say is in their DNA.
Mm-mm.
And so I need us to stop devaluing what's in our DNA, because there is something in you and about you that was literally birthed to change the game. Don't believe me? Just watch my sis. From the time she has come onto the platform, she has had you by your neck and she has pulled you in. You remember when your mom used to pull you in real close? And
Girl,
she'd
don't
get down on
remind
your
me, honey.
level, get down on your level and get in your face. And her
Yes.
voice used to come down to a whisper.
Yep.
But that was because she was quite clear, but she wanted you to be clear. And
Absolutely.
tonight,
Yep.
Lil came to make sure that y'all are clear. Okay? Because it's about finding your voice, not
Indeed.
somebody else's voice, not your
No.
sister's, not your mama's voice, your voice. Did you hear when she told you that her mother breathed into her, not her dreams and not her hopes and her goals? She breathed into her the authenticity that activated her to take the steps to being who she was born to be. She never said to her, now, baby, make mommy proud and make sure you do
Mm-mm.
this and make
Nope.
sure she didn't leave her with a checklist of all the things that she wanted to see her
Never
do. She said,
once.
what I want to see you do is be you. And she cultivated and nurtured that seed from the time you were a baby.
She did.
And I know that she's looking like, look at her now. Look at my baby now. This is how we ought to approach this gift called creative.
Yes.
It's a
Yes.
gift. It's a gift.
It
And
is.
a gift, I always tell my tribe, a gift is not a gift until it's given. Right? We keep going back to this Bible. I can't tonight. This is just this is where the conversation has gone, right?
Absolutely.
But it wasn't a gift. We didn't get the gift of God. We didn't get the gift of redemption, the gift of salvation until it was given. And so he was given, his life was given a ransom for all of us, right? But he had
Indeed.
to give it in order for the gift to be established and to be authenticated and to be unlocked and to be recognized and to be undisputed. And so my question to you is, what are you doing to ensure that your gift is undisputed? Are you giving it? Or are you playing with it? Are you hiding it? Are you half stepping with it? Are you honoring it at all? Are you even acknowledging it? Or are you playing with it? And when you come not to play, listen, did anybody on this live tonight say, oh God, girl, don't say nothing, no, stop. I can't. No, y'all leaned right on there. She said, come here. And you just kept leaning right, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. That's what y'all did. That's what y'all did. Why? Because it was good to you. It was good for you. And come on, Leandria, a gift is not a gift
That's
until
right.
it's given. And this gift
Look, you
right
know, the
here is
song
given,
says
Lil. It's,
that though.
the nails are given, the hair is given, but most importantly, this creative voice is giving. It's giving us life. It's giving us wisdom. It's giving us encouragement and empowerment. And it's giving us proof that our promise is protected.
Absolutely.
When they tried to tell your mama that in Houston, we might have a problem, she said, absolutely not. My promise is protected.
That's
I don't
right.
know who you talking to,
That's
but
right.
I already had a conversation. And so
That's
some
right.
of us need to be kind of wrangled back in, and we need to revisit the prognosis, the diagnosis, and all the things, because your promise is protected if you're walking in your gift.
Yes. Yes.
And so help me to understand, because there are, I'm sure, so many of our creators in the tribe tonight tuning in from near and far. You mentioned, see, I'm one, I get all the gems and I gather those things up. And man, if we miss the spot, I'm going back to shine that thing up. And one of the things that I heard you say, and I know this is going to bless somebody, is you talked about how yes, you are a creative at all times. You were born that way. But how do you show up creatively? How do you find your creative voice, whether you are in a creative space or like you are also flowing in the corporate space? How do you continue to not only find that voice, but continue to be the truth teller that you are and remain authentic, even in the confines of the corporate box?
Believe it or not, I don't change. Now, of course, I understand I have to tone it down a little, but honestly, I'm the same way all the time. And I think what it is, when I interviewed for my first position, I had long blonde bundles. I had on some red stilettos, I think a blue pencil skirt, a printed top, and a blazer because I had all these tattoos.
Okay.
There were two people that interviewed me. An older white guy named Les, and he was about in his 60s, and a middle-aged white woman named Kim. Now, mind, they knew of me, but they didn't know me. They knew me on paper.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine this resume, this 6-page resume
Mm-hmm.
of Lily M. Jones. You really don't know because you see Virginia State University, that's a HBCU, but you also see Virginia Commonwealth, and you also see Duke University, and you also see Liberty University, and then you see all of these, internships with the Commonwealth Attorney's Office. So you don't know what to expect. So you come out, Lily, and I walk in.
I mean, you bought your blind girl.
And that's what it was. That set the tone. They already knew this is different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But guess what? Less than 48 hours later, I got a phone call that I got the job.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been there now. It'll be 5 years on July the 4th. And speaking to your gift will make room for you. When I was told to apply for the position, I told other people to apply. Why? Because that's just me. Shoot, I want my friends to get on because we about to be paid. Do you know nobody could find their position?
Wow.
I gave them the job posting number. Nobody. They was like, Lil, this position is here. I'm like, y'all, it's there. I just applied for it. 2 years later, someone said to me, you know that they opened that position just for you and they closed it right after you applied for it. So see, I need y'all to understand something about me. I don't need this. The reason I can be authentic is because social media didn't make me.
Mm-hmm.
Betty Lou and Bo Jones bred me. And the Lord Jesus Christ planted the seed in them to birth me. So this stuff don't mean nothing to me. I do this because for me to tell you the things that I've been through, my father went into Alzheimer's when I was 14 years old.
Wow.
I could not be a hormonal teenager because I didn't have to help my mom take care of my dad, but I had the best daddy in the world. And see, that's another thing. A whole lot of y'all don't have real mamas and daddies. Y'all don't have mamas and daddies that get down on their knees with you and your sibling and pray before you go to bed. See, I woke up to my mama and daddy. I went to bed to my mama and daddy. I didn't see men and women going and coming out of my house. Hell, I didn't even know my mama drank until I went to college and came back.
Yeah.
So this thing is different for me.
Yeah.
For me, creativity is not about how ignorant you can be. It's not about how popular you can be. My creativity is to inform, to educate, to interpret, to shape and reformulate your opinions, to create agents of change, not of coonery. Coonery. A whole lot of y'all out here tap dancing. Do you know what tap dancing used to be used for?
Mm.
Do your research. This mess y'all out here doing all this influencing. Who are you influencing? You're influencing young ladies to mutilate their bodies. You're influencing young ladies to let men beat on them. You're influencing young ladies and young men to just over-sexualize themselves to the point where they don't even know who they are. If you want to influence something, be an influencer of informed decision making. Teach these babies the importance of respecting themselves and their bodies. Being okay. Understanding that respecting your body is going to the doctor to see what's wrong with you. I just said this last night. Y'all mad as hell because Jamie Foxx's family won't tell y'all what's going on. Who are you? Why is it any of your business? Why don't y'all release them STD results? If you want everything to be public, put that pap smear result up there. Put that EKG up there. Show us all them police reports. Since we want to know everybody's business, it's none of your business. Being a creative is not about getting in folks' business. It's about providing information, but guys, it's about stating facts. There is something called the American Society of Professional Journalists. There is a code of ethics for what we do.
It's good.
Do your research. Do your research.
That is good. It's the code of ethics for me. And again, when you talk about things like ethics and you talk about things like purpose, when you talked about being a change agent, and when you talk about honor for what it took to cultivate this place of character, these are the things that as creatives, we have an obligation, we have a responsibility to create ways for people to connect with the authenticity of who we are, who they are. That's what it's about. And it's an everyday thing. It doesn't always happen on a live platform.
It doesn't.
It can happen with you walking into a room, walking down the street, connecting with a young person, connecting with somebody else who's in the lineup for an opportunity that you two are applying for.
That's right.
Again, Lil is walking us through these demonstrative manifestations and moments where your character is what comes into play.
It
It's what
does.
keeps you, it's what elevates you, and it's what causes in your time people to celebrate you because they see
That's it.
consistency in character. And so, Lil, I have to commend you. I have to commend you for understanding the assignment, as they say, but not just understanding, executing. Because what I found to be the case as a strategist in particular is that vision is easy. Execution feels like it's darn near impossible.
It does.
But strategy is hard. And why strategy is so hard is because people refuse to be consistent and authentic about what it is that has been placed inside of them that they're passionate about. You're too busy worrying about what's happening to the left of you and to the right of you when you have an assigned lane where you're supposed to do what you do. And so it's this consistency of character that we have had the pleasure and the privilege. What did you say? You lived a privileged life. Well, you gave us a taste of a
Absolutely.
privileged life tonight,
Absolutely.
okay? Thank you, Leandria. And I see the whole tribe. Y'all are talking back so good tonight.
I
And I
love
promise
it.
I'm
I
not
just
letting
love
it go
it.
because we honor that. We honor
Yes.
your engagement, your participation, and all of the
Yes.
things. So
Yes. Yes.
while I'm kind of giving Lily her flowers while I had the opportunity, if you have a question that you would like to ask her as a professional on any of the fronts, she
Absolutely.
occupies so many. I told you, listen, why is her name The Collective? Because she is a collection of creativity. Okay, baby, it was not by accident or happenstance. Okay, so no, so y'all drop your questions, whether you drop it in the comments or you drop it in the question mark box, and Lily would gladly answer them. If you have any questions for me regarding strategy, regarding creativity, any of these things, finding your voice, anything that you want to know at all, this is Ask Us Anything. So this is how we closing out tonight, is Ask Us Anything. Okay, so y'all fire away. But Lil, I really, such a synergy, such a connection to the consistency of your character. And I think that so many times, especially as creatives, we get to sing in this one verse, right? And then it gets to be like that record that had the scratch in it and you couldn't get it to play no more. And we get stuck at the whole, I was a misfit, I was an outcast, I was a black sheep. And we never get beyond the mechanism that he used to make us who it is that he chooses, right? And so I have to say, on behalf of all of the creatives, on behalf of all of the innovators and the trailblazers and the game changers, because that's who your clarion call is for, thank you. Thank you for being a pusher. Thank you for being a fireball. Thank you for being a truth teller. Thank you for being you and doing so unapologetically. Thank you for taking up the space. Thank you for amplifying the voice. Thank you for providing a picture of what it should be. Not what it can be, not what it will be. I know it does not yet appear what it shall be. I love that scripture too. But what it is, because you are, we never really give just due and say, we always, I'm trying, I'm going to, no, you're doing it, sis. You are doing it, and you are doing it in such a way that people can truly, truly see themselves. I mean, the amount of real life that has happened just in the last 12 months of your life. And yet you show up and you speak up and you do so with joy. The amount of opportunity that you continue to provide for others to be connected to their purpose. and you do so selflessly and flawlessly in the way that you find joy in this journey of bringing creatives along for this ride
Yes, yes.
is something that deserves to be elevated and have a light shining on it, because it matters. It makes a difference, and it positions all of us to see ourselves win and then win again. When you talked about every lane that you occupy, when you talk about every degree that you have obtained, when you talk about every opportunity that you have gone and you have grabbed because it was yours, when you talk about how you were prepared to literally occupy and manifest the promise, it lets us know that we truly do live in a Me Too culture as
Yeah.
creators.
Yes,
And so
ma'am.
I said a little earlier, it is time out for us as creatives to miss out on
Yes.
what is actually being said. See, we miss it. We get caught up in the trendy and we lose out on the trusty. He's sending you a word. He's
That's it.
sending you an answer. He's helping you to understand the times and the seasons. But do you hear what I see? Stop being so caught up in whether or not they see you, that you are missing the mark.
That's it.
Because Lil could have came on and literally had her camera off. Please understand that her voice was still going to resonate with the same amount of fire and power and passion, because it's what she's purposed to do. And so I have to just say, this is a privilege and an honor to be able to host such a just such an authentic person who really does get the fact that this thing is not about you, and that creative is not a choice.
That's
It is
right.
a lifestyle. It
It
is not
is.
a choice. You cannot wake up tomorrow and choose to be a creative. You are either born it or not. And let me tell you, once you figure out that you've been born with this in your DNA, listen, did you go to the doctor? They ask you what's your blood type. If your blood type is creative,
Yes. It's
just
yes.
get ready for the ride, because it's different. It's different, but in a good way. And so I thank you for representing the best of us, the brightest of us, the biggest
Thank
of us,
you.
and in a way that is just so honorable. It's so honorable what you do, why you do, and who you do, because you only do you. And we love to see it. And you better understand, you are a friend to the tribe. You are too big to be classified as a vibe. You are a whole frequency. And between you and me, we're going to keep the creators talking on this here Creators Happy Hour,
Absolutely.
okay? So you
Yeah.
know you can come here anytime. You can do a takeover, or you can
Uh-uh.
call us to come and support
Likewise,
you,
because I'm
because
already
you
over here
are
thinking
my
about our
strength.
special episode. I have already put our special episode together for May the 30th. I didn't already put it together, so I already put it
So
together.
excited. And listen, who is this? Morning Love with TC.
Oh,
We
honey,
love you.
TC off the chain, honey. You know
We've been
something
talking about
about
that
her.
the whole time,
Uh-huh. She's
and talking
forever.
good,
She's
talking
always
so good.
motivating. She's always
We love
motivating.
that.
She is a very, I'm gonna say, a pretty private person, but she'll step in sometimes and she'll say something to me, and it's so funny. She'll say something to me in times when I really need it, because I am a straight shooter.
Yeah.
And I really do shoot from the hip, and she'll be like, you know what? No lie told, keep it coming. So yeah, she's amazing. She's
Yeah.
amazing. Indeed. Indeed.
Well, we are shot. Look, I dropped some flowers in the comments because I want to give flowers to each and every creative
Yes.
who is here with us tonight, who will catch this on a replay, who will benefit from one word that you had to say. Because I don't know about you, I know that it only takes one word to change the entire trajectory of your life. And you are changing lives, and you are putting people on the path to purpose, and you are doing it with such a passion that I think that anybody who has been present for any amount of time. I don't care if it was 10 seconds, 10 minutes, or the whole entire time. Nobody can walk away and say that their cup has not been filled up.
Mm.
And it is because you decided to come and to bless us with your gift and make sure that that gift was given. And yes, indeed, shout out to the plug. I call her CEO, Mrs. Britt Miller, and to
She
each
is
and every one.
amazing.
I
Honey,
love it.
honey, that
Listen,
thing
this
is
is a commercial
amazing.
break for B. Miller, okay?
Yeah, she really, and the people know, I really have a very interesting relationship with this thing called public relations because
Mm.
I've had some pretty tough experience with publicists, and
Yeah,
that's why I use that term lightly.
yeah,
But she has just a different disposition, and I can honestly say I have never felt ill in communication with her.
yeah,
And that speaks volumes.
yeah,
Because a lot of times I'm like, if I got to talk to somebody publicist, I'm good.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-mm.
But she is absolutely, again,
Mm-hmm.
you talk about the authenticity, you talk about the consistency,
Mm-hmm.
you talk about the
Mm-hmm.
character, and you talk about being planted in your purpose and
Yeah.
then allowing yourself to be cultivated so that you can bloom fully. She is a
Yes.
living, walking, talking, breathing example of
Absolutely.
that. And we do, I mean, it would be, and I would be remiss not to shout her out because she is
Yes.
changing the game. So we definitely give Queen
Yes.
Britt
Yes.
Miller her flowers. Listen, if you are
Yes.
not already following her at Mrs. Britt Miller, y'all need to follow her.
Yeah.
She is a gem dropper extraordinaire, and she is just, I mean,
Yeah.
listen, just
Yeah.
do Mama, treat yourself. Treat yourself to follow that Mrs. Britt Miller. You will not be
Yes.
disappointed. Now, I want to give you the space, Lil, to do two
Mhm.
things. I'm going to let folks know. I want to share some information with them. But after that, I want you to close us out, number one. But
Okay.
number two, I want you to let the people know what you're working on, where they can
Okay.
connect to you and find you, and tell them what they're going to get is, if they don't already know, when they connect with you, whatever the arena may be. Okay, so Lil is going to take us out tonight, creatives. Y'all just get ready. This is completely unscripted and it's her show. I'm just here, like, hitting the buttons. And I'm trying to get better at hitting the buttons, but I want to just celebrate with all of our mamas, our mamapreneurs, our aunties,
Yes.
our fur mommies, our business mommies. Listen, if you are out here in any capacity, pouring into and nurturing the seed of someone who is assigned to you, we are celebrating and saluting you. Mother's Day is not limited, number one, to one day or 1 month, and it's not limited to a particular pattern, right? I like to say it to my tribe this way: you cannot be a pattern when you were born to be a blueprint. So stop looking for somebody to pattern yourself after. Baby, you are a blueprint, okay?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, mamas, we celebrate you, we see you, we love on you, we appreciate you, we honor you, and you are living proof that anything is possible, because nobody can pray like a mama, nobody can stay like a mama, nobody can love like a mama, nobody can yank you like a mama, but it is necessary. We would not be who we are without you. So shout out to every one of the mothers that we know, that we are becoming. We see you and we salute you, and we want you to keep doing what you do. I am so excited to be able to bring attention to the moms who put everybody else in front of them on their list of to-dos. And so what I want to give to each one of you is a strategy session. And so what I'm doing is I'm literally making it accessible. So for $100 for the rest of this month, in honor of all of our mamas and mamapreneurs and mommy moguls, and even the ones who are supervising kidpreneurs, okay? Kidpreneurs are half off. I want you to schedule a 7 a.m. strategy session with me. Now, the only way to do it is to literally DM me 7 a.m. 7 a.m. is what's going to unlock that special time where we know the early bird gets the worm, but we also know that when our children are sleeping and we have peace for those first couple of minutes before the day gets going, that is the best time for you to tap into what God is showing you for you. So I want you to give yourself a gift and come and let's break bread together. Like, sub out your coffee for some strategy. 7 a.m. Meet me in that place where things are fresh and life has not yet taken all of your attention. Okay, I promise you, it's going to be such an amazing time of getting to know you, because it's all about the story of you. So that's what we're going to get into. Early morning strategy sessions, they will be on and available for all of the mamas, because I see you and I celebrate you. And I want to see you win, and I want to see you do it again. And there's a strategy for that, okay? So remember, I am your girl, the passion strategist. I am super excited and passionate about solving your problems with creativity, passion, and authenticity. And I am here to serve you. All right. So that's what I do and what I'm going to do for you. Now, Lil, I mean, I don't even know how we can put the collective on one platter, but do your best.
We're going to
Do
do
your
it.
best.
We're going to do it just like this. Guys, first and foremost, thank you so much. This has been amazing. I look forward to hosting you also, so that we can really dive into the truth.
Yeah.
The truth. And that's it. We're going to leave it like that.
Mm-hmm.
But guys, all you have to do is go over to www.lilymaycollective.com. And I will say this. When you come over there, you come over there when you are mature enough to understand that your needs are more important than your wants. Because my platform is to support your needs being met, not your wants. Because you need to be mature enough to understand that your wants not going to hurt you,
My
but your
mind.
needs. But if your needs are not met, that could be your demise. And so come on over. My primary emphasis is project management, and what that looks like is, process improvement, end to end deliverables. So what that means is you may come to me with an idea or a concept, and we start to put that thing into end to end. You know what I'm saying? Your end goal, and you want to see your end result.
Mhm.
And so that's just a little bit of what I have to offer. Of course, the media platforms that I have. The biggest thing is, everybody under the sound of my voice, if you have a podcast, news show, talk show, DM me. ID 104 Radio. We are going 24/7 on June 1st. And so we invite you to submit your weekly shows. We're looking for comedians to do comedic sets so that we can break up some of the monotony. But guys, we definitely want you to submit your content. So just come over. Come over, hit me up. We can just talk. If you don't know what you need, let's talk about it. That's
Yeah.
all to it. And working on, girlfriend. So I don't want to say I'm necessarily working on anything in particular, but I will say my significant other, I'm working on a lot of his stuff. He is releasing a song called Corner Store on June 1st.
Okay.
And he is a soulful, so he's a singing electrician. Like, we got careers over here. We do this creative thing, but we got careers over here. But he sings, and I'm talking about, girl, that thing got a soulful voice, girl. He might take you to the juke joint and the church house. I'm just saying.
Creative.
But
Yeah, it's all right.
so that's one of the major things. We've been traveling to St. Louis, so I do have a partnership with the St. Louis film and media industry. And so realistically, even though I live in Georgia, not interested. Interestingly, because you already know how it is, I do most of my business outside of the area, that St. Louis market, back to Virginia, and now we're pushing into Baltimore, that DMV area. So,
Come on
doors
up.
are
Come on up.
opening. Absolutely, doors are opening, and so I really learned that. Me being placed here was for the airport.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't my market. I have to go into markets where more people know who they are and they're not confined to what a market says you are. So
Yeah.
that's just what it is.
I mean,
Absolutely.
no, do the gym stop. Listen, when her mouth is open, okay? Listen, the pour is pure, as I like to say. Get your cup
Absolutely.
and get it filled up because this powerhouse right here, I've told y'all before, and I'm gonna say it again. There's a reason why her name is Collective. Okay, there is a collection, and she is a collector's item, rare
Oh,
indeed and valuable beyond what we can perceive. So
bless
please,
you.
please
Bless
make
you.
sure that you bless her by affirming her in her marketplace ministry. She has invited you to connect through the platform of podcasting, through project management, and so much more. So please do not leave any of these gems on the floor. You have to get your butt in gear, okay? So
Yes,
Lily has already spilled the beans. We are going to be collaborating again really,
we
really
are.
soon.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, yes,
So y'all
yes.
have to stay tuned, stay tapped in. Please, if you are not following Lily, please follow her right now, right now. I literally want to see her follows. Like I want to see it go up. So let's get the following. Let's get the sharing and liking and all the things. You are welcome to follow me at the Passion Strategist. And we do this thing called Creators Happy Hour on Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Remember to
Yes.
tell a friend. And y'all come on in because I'm telling you, only the best of the best come by this way. And I am so
Absolutely.
excited to say that we are going to be dropping season 2 of the podcast Creatives Unscripted. Yes,
Well,
indeed.
you
It's coming, it's
better
coming, it's
send it on
coming.
over. You need to send me season one. Send me all the season ones so we can run them. And then when season two starts, you'll already be trending.
Let's go. Okay. So as y'all can see, I'm going to get my project management on with my good sis.
That's
I
right.
need y'all to follow too. Okay. Because I'm not about to be in these streets uncovered when I got Lily. Okay. I had the Lily, the May, and the collective. I'm getting all the things. Okay. And I recommend that you do the same. So until this next Creators Happy Hour, y'all catch this replay, share it with somebody that you know needs to be reminded of the anchor that holds, and that is the anchor of
Mhm.
authenticity. We have been finding our creative voice tonight. You don't have a choice because creative is a lifestyle. Creative has its own language. And me, I'm just your friendly translator, the passion strategist. So I will see y'all next week. And Lily, girl, you got the call. Got the call. All right?
Yes.
We love
Yes.
you guys so much. LilyMadeCollective.com. Visit, like, share. Get your butt on there and handle your business. All right?
Thank
Get you some good rest,
you.
okay? Because you poured out hard tonight.
Oh, look, I need to go. I need to get rid of some clothes. So that's what I'm going to go do. Go ahead and try to get rid of some clothes for some people.
So what she had said was that she's about to have Lily Mae's consignment shop, and it's gonna be repurposing and all the things. So y'all
Girl,
better y'all better
it's
put
gonna
y'all
be, it's gonna be donation because I ain't got time. I need it gone.
listen. Make your request known is all I'm saying. Did y'all see how that
They sure
descended? I'm
better.
trying to help
So
y'all out.
if y'all in 12s, 14s, and 16s and size 10 women's shoes, y'all better DM me because I'm talking about I got stuff with tags on it.
And y'all already know y'all want them blonde bundles, y'all want them red
Uh,
pumps, and y'all want
oh,
that blue
now
pencil
look,
skirt.
I ain't getting rid of no hair because I pay good money for my hair, child. It lasts me. Do you know, believe it or not, the hair right back here, these bundles, now this is a different set, but this hair I've had for about 3 years, and this hair I've had for about 7 years. Yes,
No.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So yeah, I take care of my stuff, but I invest in my stuff too.
Yeah,
I invest
yeah.
in my stuff. So yeah, everybody be like, oh, she got I use the same hair over and over and over. I just invest in it so it's good hair. Mm-hmm.
And you know, let me just say this, because see, this is what Lily does to me. She pulls it out of me, and then she can't stop. I can't stop. Listen, y'all, y'all have heard. Some of y'all are new to the vibe tonight, and you're new to me. But I'm a really big believer in saying what he has for you to say. Stop being interested. Start getting invested. Did y'all just
Wait.
hear what she said? She said, I pay good money for this. I
Mm-hmm.
invest in this. And it holds, it lasts, it keeps, it
Yep.
performs, it does what it's supposed to do, and it gives, because it's giving. It gives what it's supposed to give. But that's because she ain't interested in the corner hair store. She's invested, okay, in her image and how she shows up and how she represents this lifestyle we call creative. Okay.
That's it.
So listen, if you want to learn how to move from interested to invested, you got two sisters here. We ready to teach. We listen, we put
That's
master
right.
in
They're
our
passion
classes. Okay,
strategists.
we
Yes.
put the master in our classes. It's different. It's different. Okay? So y'all get ready because we are getting ready to come with a summer takeover. It's going to be better than Renaissance, baby. So you got your tickets
Absolutely.
to see Queen Bee? Come see me and Lil. Okay? It's going to be a whole nother thing.
Yes.
All right? We love y'all so, so much. So excited that my sis was on with me tonight. And again, shout out to Mamapreneur Extraordinaire, Mrs. Britt Miller. Y'all like, follow,
Absolutely.
share.
Bless
Let's build
you.
this
Bless
creative
you.
community and take over the world, y'all. Okay? Let's do it together. All right? Love y'all. Good
Bye.
night.